Hey friends, Jay Hewitt here. Just got discharged from the hospital and I'm in my Airbnb in San Francisco recovering. And I've got one question on my mind. Why do bad things happen to good people? This question's on my mind because my church community, Friends Church, I know you all are discussing this weekend when you're together in your worship services. And I've realized that in a lot of ways, I have become kind of one of those poster boys for this question. I've been a pastor for over 20 years and diagnosed with terminal brain cancer, and it's a struggle. In my fourth brain surgery, recovering from this, going back into more chemo, it's gonna be a tough year ahead. But I thought, as you all are thinking about it, maybe it'd be helpful to hear from me, a guy who's right in the middle of it, to hear just a little bit of my perspective. I can't pretend to be able to answer this question fully, but I wanna remind everyone that it's not so much that bad things happen to good people, it's bad things happen to all people, right? When I signed up to follow Jesus, I had no delusions that all of a sudden life would be perfect, right? And neither do you. In fact, I knew that Jesus was described as a suffering servant, so when I decided to put my faith into him to follow in his footsteps, I knew that my path would probably take me through some suffering. So as I'm at that point right now, I am not surprised and I don't blame God. Instead, I turn to him because here's the one thing that we have in our favor and our advantage. As we follow Jesus, when bad things happen to us, because we live in real life and bad things happen, life is hard, we can do hard things because as we put our faith into Christ, we can know that he's working on our behalf. So Romans 8:28 tells us that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who've been called according to his purposes, to be conformed into the likeness of his son, Jesus. And that's what I'm experiencing right now. I never signed up for an easy life. I signed up for a significant one. And through my trials and my hardships, I'm finding that my purpose and my ministry is being elevated and my heart is being changed. And I'm starting to look more and more like Jesus faster as I go through this trial. And here's a really interesting thing. Through all of this, there's been so many emotions. I've felt sad, I've felt disappointed, I've felt angry, but the overwhelming emotion that I feel through all of this is love. I feel loved by God and by his people. Because as I'm going through this thing that is beyond me, right? I don't have enough strength to fight this. I don't have it in myself. I'm in desperate need of God every step of the way. I can see him coming through for me. I can see him in all these little ways. Now I've learned to tune my spiritual eyes to these things, to expect that God is working behind the scenes for my good. And so I'm looking for him every day. And as I see him, I just feel so loved by God. And then I've also found that when I pray for help, God typically sends one of his people to give me help. And so I feel so loved by God's people as well. And so, no, I would never choose this. I don't want this. This is hard. However, if I'm going to face something hard, knowing that God is with me by my side, working all things for my good, it's doable. It's doable. And not only that, I do feel a deep sense of being loved. So I don't know. I know it can't answer the whole question, why do bad things happen to good people, but just a few things from my perspective that I thought might help you. So be blessed, my friends, and I hope to see you soon.